Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today, July 14, we have a private conference of One Good and Services. But before we start of this undertaking, let us all invoke the blessings of our great architect of the universe, and let us all stand for a prayer.
Lord, thank you for this day, for the presence of everyone in this call. For once again, we are gathered and given the opportunity to appreciate life and your words. Forgive us for our shortcomings and cleanse our hearts as we learn and live your words and example. Father, bless our endeavors, especially today's meeting. May you guide us in our discussions, and may you enlighten our minds in every decision that we make. Give us your grace that we may effectively do our parts for your greater glory. All this we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Let us all be seated. Once again, good morning to our YouTube live viewers, fellow back members, prospective bidders. May I request the Secretariat, uh, Engineer Brian Neil Agusto, or head to who are the invited observers for today's procurement activity.
Good morning. Hello, Mike.
Okay,
Meron siya. Good morning, Mr. Back
good
Chairperson.
morning.
And for the observers, invited observers, here are our invited observers for this procurement activity from the Resident Auditor, Commission on Audit, DPWH Nueva Vizcaya First District Engineering Office, Bayongbong Nueva Vizcaya. And our second observer official is Mr. Eduardo L. Ramadrid, Chairman, Chamber Real Estate and Builders Association La Union Chapter, San Fernando City, La Union. And our third official observer, sir, is Engineer Gladys G. Tiburcio, alternate observer from National Contractors Association of the Philippines, or NACAP, Aritaw, Nueva Vizcaya.
Thank you, Engineer Brian Neil Agusto, but they are not present. It was received by the Commission on Audit on July 6, 2023. Okay. So again, may I ask if we have the reading of the attendance, and please declare if we have a quorum.
Thank you, sir, and good morning once again to all and to our YouTube, Facebook live viewers for today's private conference activity. Here are the roll call for the back composition members. Engineer Valentino B. Sareno, Chairman, Back Chairman, Chief Planning and Design Section, Engineer Danilo A. Bernabe,
Present.
Back Vice Chairperson, Person, Chief Quality Assurance Section, Madam Veronica Gilio Davico,
Present.
Back Regular Member, Chief Administrative Section, Madam Architect IBO Salazar,
Present.
Provisional Member and User for all types of project procurement, Engineer Jermin B. Binavista,
Present.
Provisional Member and User from the Planning and Design Section, Engineer Larissa V. Blanza,
Present.
Provisional Member and User for Goods and Services from the Maintenance Section. And for the roll call of the Secretariat, yours truly, Brian Neil G. Augusto, Head. For the Back Secretariat members, we have Alan Edward G. Damaso, Back Secretariat Member, Miss Lutgarda D. Reyes, Back Secretariat Member, Miss Simonette T. Lacorda, Back Secretariat Member. And for the Back Technical Working Group, sir, who are present here for today's activity, we have Miss Diane Sheldon B. Balico, TW. Good morning, ma'am. TWG members. And for the prospective bidders, sir, we don't have any prospective bidders or observers who have wished to attend for today's activity. Sir, majority of the back composition is hereby present today for this activity. Therefore, there is a constitution of quorum. Thank you.
Thank you, my brother, Engineer Brian Nailagusto, for reading the attendance for today's private conference. Since majority of the back members are hereby present, then the back chair declares that this procurement active private activity is in order. So to continue, let's proceed. I, I will be reading the agenda for today's activity. Number one is basic contract data to be discussed to us by Engineer Larissa Lanza. Number two, requirements of bidding documents. Our head secretariat, Engineer Brian De Lagusto. Number three, documents to be submitted by the bidder, including technical and financial proposals. Again, for Engineer Brian De Lagusto. For number four, criteria and procedure for the preliminary examination of the bids, detailed evaluation of bids, post-qualification and award by our architect IB Salazar, the provisional member for all types of procurement. Number five, question, comments from bidders and replies of back and other representatives of procuring entity, back members, other matters, and number seven, summary of proceedings including bid bulletins, addenda to be issued. But before we proceed, for the other, let me read first the content of the 2016 revised implementing rules and regulation regarding private conference for section 22, particularly 22.3. The private conference shall discuss, clarify, and explain, among other things, the eligibility requirements and the technical and financial components of the contract to be bid, including questions and clarifications raised by the prospective bidders before and during the private conference. Private conference may be conducted in person or face-to-face through video conferencing, webcasting, or similar technology, or a combination thereof. Procuring entities with video conferencing capabilities that have manufacturers, suppliers, distributors, contractors, and or consultants that also have video conferencing capabilities may conduct their private conferences. The private conference is open to prospective bidders, and in case of procurement of consulting services, the shortlisted bidder, but attendance shall not be mandatory. 22.4, the minutes of the private conference shall be recorded and prepared not later than 5 calendar days after the private conference and shall be made available to prospective bidders not later than 5 days upon written request. Decisions of the BAC amending any provision of the bidding documents shall be issued in writing through a supplemental bid bulletin at least 7 calendar days before the deadline for the submission and receipt of bids. That is Section 22, Private Conference from the 2016 Revised Implementing Rules and Regulation. So, to continue, we'll proceed for the first agenda, which is the basic contract data to be presented to us by Engineer Larissa Blanza, our provisional member for goods and services. Engineer Blanza, take it away.
Good morning, everybody. This is the basic contract data for contract ID 23 GBI 32 with the project name of procurement of one set real-time kinematic or RTK and one set total station surveying instrument for use in the detailed engineering design and implementation of calamity damages for infrastructure projects. The location of project is in DPWH, Bayambang, Nueva Vizcaya. The indicative approved budget for the contract is 3,500,000. The duration is 15 calendar days upon the issuance of NTP. Cost of bid documents is 5,000 pesos. And the source of fund is from the DPWH FY 2023 Capital Outlay EAW. So the specifications for the specifications for the RTK should have a multi-frequency and is capable of receiving multitude of signals from the GNSS system. Its measurement capability should be single base RTK, network RTK, and PPK. The base and rover interchangeable should have the same brand and the model. The satellite tracking should be GPS, GLONASS, BEIDOU, DOU, Galileo, QZSS, or SBAS. The number of channels should have 440 channels minimum. The static high accuracy should have a horizontal of 3 millimeters plus minus 0.1 ppm and a vertical of 3.5 millimeters plus minus 0.4 ppm. Static and fastest static or the RMS should have a horizontal 3 millimeter plus minus 0.5 ppm and a vertical of 5 millimeters 5 millimeters plus minus 0.5 ppm. The real-time kinematic or the RTK should have a horizontal of 8 millimeters plus minus 1.0 ppm and a vertical of 15 millimeters plus minus 1 ppm. The equipment time to fix is 15 seconds in the maximum. Battery life should have 6 hours minimum for a single or multiple. It should be dust and water protected. The communication should be through Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, USB, or cellular. For the field controller, it should have the same brand as the receiver or with certificate of compatibility from the manufacturer or of the main equipment. The operating system should be Windows or Android OS. Screen size is 7 inches in the minimum and colored. Internal storage is a minimum of 32 gigabytes. External storage, minimum of 32 gigabytes. The RAM should have 4 gigabytes in the minimum and should have dust and water protection. Camera is 8 megapixels minimum. The battery life should be 8 hours in the minimum. The applications installed should have stick-out volume calculation and road module applications. For the external radio, same brand as the receiver or with certificate of compatibility from the manufacturer of the main equipment. The output power should be 35 watts. Frequency range is 300 megahertz to 3 gigahertz with one set of external battery. The post-processing software, it should be licensed or with certification attached with one post-processing laptop and should be latest Intel Core i9 or AMD equivalent with 16 gigabyte RAM. Accessories attached should be one-piece base tripod, same as the receiver, one-piece rover bipod, same brand as the receiver, one-piece rover pole, same brand as the receiver, 2 pieces extra batteries aside from the installed batteries and should be manufacturer's battery. 1 piece extra battery for field controller and should be manufacturer's battery. one-piece USB flash drive, minimum of 32 gigabytes, and one-piece external hard drive, 1 terabyte. One set dual head battery charger. It should be manufacturer's charger, and one set equipment manual. For other requirements, authorized or exclusive distributor certificate from the manufacturer should be apostolate certificate attached. Certificate of Manufacturer Service Support Center in the Philippines with 1-year warranty on factory defects, with at least 5 years experience in supplying survey equipments, with local service centers certified by the manufacturer, and with 5 days field and data post-processing training, with 5 years annual calibration from the authorized service center of the manufacturer, and an actual demo of equipment prior to award. The verification of equipment range is 5 kilometers. For the total station, for the total station, for the main equipment of the total station, the screen should be touch screen and colored. It has to be alphanumeric keyboard and has dual axis. The distance accuracy for the prism is 2 plus 2 ppm millimeters or more accurate. Pag prismless, 2 plus 2 ppm millimeters or more accurate. The distance range for the prism is 3,000 meters minimum, and prismless is 500 meters minimum. The angular accuracy is 5 inches or more accurate. Minimum angle reading is 1 inch. Magnification should be 30 times. Focusing distance is 1.8 meters in the minimum. Measuring time should be 1 second maximum. Plummet should be laser type. Storage, 1 gigabyte or 100,000 points minimum. Environmental protection, IP55 minimum. Battery life, 20 hours. Single or multiple total capacity. Communication, RS-232, USB, and Bluetooth. With stakeout, volume calculation, and road module applications. Note that all apps should be activated or licensed. Theft and security protection, PIN or online locator or similar applications. Horizontal lock, tangential lock, or endless drive. For the accessories for the total station, should have 2 pieces standard prism, 2-inch, and pole with circular bubble. 1 piece tripod, 2 pieces extra battery, 1 piece measuring tape, 1 set battery charger, 1 piece RS-232 data cable, and one piece USB flash drive, 32 gigabytes minimum, 3 sets communication radio. Other requirements should be exclusive and authorized distributor certificate from the manufacturer. Certificate of service support in the Philippines stating the location of the service center. Should have 1 year warranty on factory defects, with field and post-processing training, with 5 years annual calibration from the authorized service center of the manufacturer, and should have actual demo of equipment prior to award. Suppliers qualification should have 5 years experience in supplying survey equipment with local service center certified by manufacturer and should be located in the Philippines. That's all, sir.
Thank you, Engineer Larissa Blanza, for discussing to us the specification of this uh, equipment, survey equipment for contract ID number 23GBI32. But we will proceed for the next agenda. Do we have any amendment uh, for this contract?
I have an amendment for the contract, sir. The first amendment should the previous published in the bidding documents for the contract to be deleted and to be replaced by the instruction to bidders. The previous published in the bidding documents to be deleted and replaced with the requirements as per the instruction to bidders.
Okay. Any more?
Yes, sir. And for the RTK, the second amendment is for the accessories of the RTK. Instead of one piece rover pole, should be two pieces rover pole.
Okay, noted. So, fellow back members, may I ask the uh, amendment discussed, I told to us by our provisional member, if we have additional amendment. Let's start with our back vice chair. I need pa for oh, provisional member for all types of procurement, Architect Ivy Salazar.
I have the amendments, Mr. Chair.
Noted, Architect Ivy. Engineer Jermin Buenavista, provisional member from the Planning and Design section.
Mr. Chair, aside from the amendments of the provisional member of for the goods, I have no amendments.
Okay, thank you, Engineer Buenavista. Madam Veronica Ludovico, our back regular member.
Mr. Chair, I have no amendments, but I will go with the amendment of the provisional member.
Thank you, Madam Veron. Engineer Danilo Bernate, our back vice chair.
Mr. Chair, no additional amendments to the bidding documents. Thank you.
Thank you, Engineer Danilo Bernabe, our back vice chair. So since majority of the back members have not amended except the amendment of our provisional member from goods and services, first is the um, anong una? Anong una? Yes, yes. May I ask the procurement engineer Brian Neil Augusto to please take note the amendment of our provisional member to issue supplemental bid bulletin.
Noted, Mr. Chair, the back procurement unit will comply to the amendments for the supplemental bid bulletin of the additional accessories for the two-piece rover and for the previously published in the bidding document should be deleted and to be replaced as per ITBT for the technical specifications and accessories. Thank you.
Thank you, Engineer Brian Neil Augusto. So let's proceed for the second agenda, which is the requirements of bidding documents. To be discussed to us by our procurement engineer, Engineer Brian Neil Augusto. Take it away, Engineer Augusto.
You again, Mr. Vice Chairman, for the bid data sheet for this particular project for ITB Close 14.1. The bid security shall be in the form of bid securing declaration or any of the following forms and amounts. A. The amount of not less than 2% of the ABC if bid security is in cash, cashier's manager's check, bank draft guarantee, or irrevocable letter of credit, or the amount of less than 5% of the ABC if bid security is in surety bond. For ITB Close 20.2, licenses and permits relevant to the project and the corresponding law requiring it. Number 1, mayor's permit. Number 2, DTI. Number 3, field jobs registration. Number 4, tax clearance. Number 5, supplier's registration certificate or SRC. And number 6, lifetime service warranty. And for the additional requirements for the following, under ITB Close 21.2, the supplier, the dealer must have a certificate from the manufacturer that they are authorized of the brand being offered, original sign with the stamp. Number 2, the dealer must have physical branch in Region 2 to cater to the after sales of the service. Number 3, 3 years warranty or parts in with free lifetime preventive maintenance service. That's all, sir, for the bid data sheet for this particular project. Thank you.
Thank you, Engineer Brian De La Gusto. So let's proceed for the agenda number 3, which is the documents to be submitted by the bidder, including technical and financial proposals. Again, Engineer Brian De La Gusto. And
Thank you, Mr. Back Chairperson, for the checklist for the technical and financial documents uh, for this particular project. Sir, this is a pre-recorded audio. Thank you.
please proceed. Please play the
Checklist of technical and financial documents. Technical component envelope. Class A documents. For legal documents, valid Pilgrim's registration certificate, platinum membership, all pages. Or registration certificate from Securities and Exchange Commission, Department of Trade and Industry, for sole proprietorship, or Cooperative Development Authority, for cooperatives or its equivalent document, and mayor's or business permit issued by the city or municipality where the principal place of business of the prospective bidder is located, or the equivalent document for exclusive economic zones or areas, and tax clearance per EO number 398 series of 2005 as finally reviewed and approved by the Bureau of Internal Revenue or BIR. For technical documents, statement of the prospective bidder of all its ongoing government and private contracts, including contract awarded but not yet started, if any, whether similar or not similar in nature and complexity to the contract to be bid, and statement of the bidder's single largest completed contract or SLCC, similar to the contract to be bid, except under conditions provided for in Section 23.4.1.3 and 23.4.2.4 of the 2016 revised IRR of Republic Act Number 9184 within the relevant period as provided in the bidding documents, and original copy of bid security, if in the form of surety bond, submit also certification issued by the Insurance Commission, or original copy of notarized bid securing declaration, and conformity with the technical specifications, which may include production, delivery schedule, manpower requirements, and or after sales parts if applicable, and original duly signed Omnibus Sworn Statement or OSS, and if applicable, original notarized secretary certificate in case of a corporation, partnership, or cooperative, or original special power of attorney of all members of the joint venture, giving full power and authority to its officer to sign the OSS and do acts to represent the bidder. Financial documents. The supplier's audited financial statements showing, among others, the supplier's total and current assets and liabilities is stamped received by the BIR or its duly accredited and authorized institutions for the preceding calendar year, which should not be earlier than 2 years from the date of the bid submission, and the prospective bidder's computation of net financial contracting capacity or NFCC, or a committed line or credit from a universal or commercial bank in lieu of its NFCC computation. Class B documents. If applicable, a duly signed joint venture agreement or JVA in case the joint venture is already in existence, or duly notarized statement from all the potential joint venture partners stating that they will enter into and abide by the provisions of the JVA in the instance that the bid is successful. Other documentary requirements under Republic Act Number 9184 as applicable. For foreign bidders claiming by reason of their country's extension of reciprocal rights to Filipinos, certification from the relevant government office of their country stating that Filipinos are allowed to participate in government procurement activities for the same item or product. certification from DTI if the bidder claims preference as a domestic bidder or domestic entity, financial component envelope, original of duly signed and accomplished financial bid form, and original of duly signed and accomplished price schedule.
Sir, that's all for the audio recording for the documents to be submitted, including the technical and financial components for this particular project. Thank you.
Thank you, Engineer Brian Nilagusto, for the pre-recorded presentation of agenda number 3. Then let's proceed for agenda number 4. Criteria and procedure for the preliminary examination of the bids, detailed evaluation of bids, post-qualification and award. To be presented to us by our provisional member for all types of procurement, Architect I.B. Salazar.
Thank you, sir. For agenda number 4, may we listen to the pre-recorded presentation. Thank you.
Okay. Sige.
Pre-bid conference. Detailed evaluation of bids. For the procurement of goods and infrastructure projects, the BAC shall evaluate the financial component of the bids to determine the lowest calculated bid using the following steps. The BAC shall immediately conduct a detailed evaluation of all bids using non-discretionary criteria in considering the following. Completeness of the bid. Unless the instructions to bidders specifically allow partial bids, bids not addressing or providing all of the required items in the bidding documents, including, or applicable, bill of quantities, shall be considered non-responsive and thus automatically disqualified. In this regard, where a required item is provided but no price is indicated, the same shall be considered as non-responsive. But specifying a zero or a dash for the said item would mean that it is being offered for free to the government, except those required by law or regulations to be provided for. Arithmetical corrections. Consider computational errors and omissions to enable proper comparison of all eligible bids. It may also consider bid modifications if expressly allowed in the bidding documents. Any adjustment shall be calculated in monetary terms to determine the calculated prices. The BAC shall evaluate all bids on an equal footing to ensure fair and competitive bid comparison. For this purpose, all bidders shall be required to include the cost of all taxes, such as, but not limited to, value-added tax, income tax, local taxes, and other fiscal levies and duties, which shall be itemized in the bid form and reflected in the detailed estimates. Such bids, including said taxes, shall be basis for bid evaluation and comparison. In case of discrepancies between bid prices in figures and in words, the latter shall prevail. Between total price per item and unit price for the item as extended or multiplied by the quantity of that item, the latter shall prevail. Between stated total price and the actual sum of prices of component items, the latter shall prevail. Between unit cost in the detailed estimate and unit cost in the bill of quantities, the latter shall prevail. Post-qualification. Objective and process of post-qualification. The lowest calculated bid shall undergo post-qualification in order to determine whether the bidder concerned complies with and is responsive to all the requirements and conditions as specified in the bidding documents. Within 5 calendar days from receipt by the bidder of the notice from the BAC that the bidder has the lowest calculated bid, the bidder shall submit to the BAC its latest income and business tax returns and other appropriate licenses and permits required by law and stated in the bidding documents. Failure to submit any of the post-qualification requirements on time or a finding against the veracity thereof shall disqualify the bidder for award, provided that in the event that a finding against the veracity of any of the documents submitted is made, it shall cause the forfeiture of the bid security in accordance with Section 69 of this IRR. The post qualification shall verify, validate, and ascertain all statements made and documents submitted by the bidder with the lowest calculated bid using non-discretionary criteria as stated in the bidding documents. These criteria shall consider but shall not be limited to the following: legal requirements to verify, validate, and ascertain licenses, certificates, permits, and agreements submitted by the bidder, and the fact that it is not included in any blacklist as provided in Section 25.3 of this IRR. For this purpose, the GPPB shall maintain a consolidated file of all blacklisted suppliers, contractors, and consultants. Technical requirements. To determine compliance of the infrastructure projects offered with the requirements specified in the bidding documents, including, where applicable, verification and validation of the bidder's stated competence and experience, and the competence and experience of the bidder's key personnel to be assigned to the project for the procurement of infrastructure projects. Verification of availability and commitment and/or inspection and testing for the required capacities and operating conditions of equipment unit to be owned, leased, under, purchased by the bidder for use in the contract. Negative slippage of at least 15% in any one project or a negative slippage of at least 10% in each of two or more contracts. Failure of the contractor to commence repair works on ongoing contracts within 7 calendar days and to complete them within 30 calendar days after receipt of the procuring entity's notice of defects and deficiencies. Failure of the contractor to commence repair works on contracts with pending certificates of acceptance within 30 calendar days and complete them within 90 days after receipt of the procuring entity's notice of defects and failures, or substandard quality of work as per contract plans and specifications, or unsatisfactory performance of the contractor's obligations as per contract terms and conditions at the time of inspection. If the BAC verifies any of these deficiencies to be due to the contractor's fault or negligence, the agency shall disqualify the contractor from the award for the procurement of infrastructure projects.
That's all, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Architect Ivy Salazar, for that pre-recorded presentation. So let's proceed for the agenda number 3, which is questions, comments from the bidders. Number 5, questions, comments from the bidders, and replies of BAC and other representatives of procuring entity. So from the Secretariat, do we have any questions or clarification from our prospective bidders or from our YouTube live viewers? None. So let's proceed for the number 6 agenda, which is the other matters. May I ask fellow back members, we have any other matters to discuss?
Mr. Chair, I have an proposed additional requirements for the LMB registration for that particular contract ID 23BI 032.
Okay, so
for the survey instrument RTK and total station.
Okay, please take note the additional requirements, which is the registration of the two surveying instrument, the RTK and the total station, provisional member and the secretariat, uh, to the from the DNR Land Management Bureau. So we'll amend the additional requirements for this contract ID 23 GBI 32, which is the procurement of one set real-time kinematic RTK and one set total station surveying instrument for use in the detailed engineering design and implementation of calamity damages infrastructure projects. So take note, Secretariat, for these additional requirements. About other back members to have any other amendment?
Amendments, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. About Architect Ivy Salazar
No amendment, sir.
and Madam Veronica Leodobico, our regular member.
No other amendments, Mr. Watt.
Thank you, fellow back members. To our procurement, to have any other matters to discuss?
Yes, Mr. Buck, Chairperson, we have the other matters. We have a motion for subject for motion for reconsideration na submitted by BRG Construction. Sir.
Kindly read.
Sige, sir. The letter is dated July 11, 2023 is addressed to Engineer Valentino Bisareno, Back Chairperson, Department of Public Works and Highways, Nueva Vizcaya 1st District Engineering Office, Bayambong, Nueva Vizcaya. As per subject, motion for reconsideration, and is stated that, Sir, we are writing this motion to consider our proposed bids in the event that the result of your online verification for eligibility at DPWH system may found out that our experience completed project is not sufficient. Attached in our technical components are the pertinent documents of our single largest project under Nueva Vizcaya State University. Thank you very much for your kind consideration regarding this matter. Very truly yours, Engineer Briani Argahes, Manager Owner, signed.
Thank you, Engineer Brian Nilagusto. So later, with the back members, we will talk about this motion for reconsideration. So, do we have any announcement to make from the back secretariat?
Yes, sir. We have the announcements reminder, sir, for the next procurement activities.
Okay, please read.
Yes, sir. Our next procurement activities is opening of bids. Date and time is July 25, 2023 at 9:01 a.m. Venue, PRU Bidding Room, Main Building, DPWH Nueva Vizcaya, First DEO, Bayombong, Nueva Vizcaya, Forwards and Goods and Services, sir.
Kindly read
Okay.
for this contract ID number 23 GBI 32.
Yes, sir. For the goods and services with the contract ID number 23 GBI 32, yung katatapos lang po natin na pre-bid is ma-open sa July 25 with the name of the project Procurement of one set real-time kinematic RTK and one set total station surveying instrument for use in the detailed engineering design and implementation of calamity damages infrastructure projects. Location of the project is DPWH Nueva Vizcaya, DPWH Bayambong, Nueva Vizcaya, with approved budget for the contract or ABC of 3,500,000 pesos. Duration is 15 calendar days upon issuance of NTP. Cost of bidding documents is 5,000. With a source of fund of DPWH fiscal year 2023 capital outlay or EO. Sir, that's all for the announcement and reminders for the next procurement activity. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Secretariat, for that announcement. To continue, let's for agenda number 7, summary of proceedings including bid bulletins addenda to be issued. So to summarize it, to please take note, Secretariat, for or supplemental bid bulletin for number 1, the deletion of previously published in the ITB to be replaced with the specification as discussed by our professional member from goods and services. And number 2, it was published for the one set RTK additional one rover. So from one rover, we need to add additional one rover for the RTK. One rover pole for the RTK. And the last one, the additional requirements for the registration of the two surveying instrument to the DNR LMB Land Management Bureau Region 2. So kindly take note this supplemental bid bulletin for this particular project with contract ID number 23 GBI 32.
Noted, sir. The back-end procurement unit will comply with the amendments for the issuance of supplemental bid bulletin. Thank you.
Thank you, Engineer Brian L. Augusto. So that ends for our
Mr. Chair, before we end the private conference, I would like to inform our live viewers that the motion for reconsideration will be discussed after the adjournment, which is not live in the YouTube platform. So again, I would like to inform our YouTube viewers that the motion for reconsideration to be tackled for BRG/EMB construction, which is a joint venture for the construction of 2 units school building at Tiblac, will be Tiblac National High School. We will be discussed not on live. Thank you.
Thank you, Engineer Danilo Bernabe, or back vice chair. Okay, that we will tackle later after this private conference. So, fellow back members, can I hear a motion to adjourn?
Mr. Back Chair, in as much as we have already tackled all the agendas for the private conference of One Good and Services, I now move that this private conference be adjourned.
I second the motion, Mr. Chair.
Since it's been moved and seconded that this private conference is now officially closed. That ends our private conference, and I wish everyone a fruitful day ahead. God bless us all, and let us all stay safe. Thank you.